Hi, my name is James Kemp, and this is part 2 of my Xbox 360 video game collection. If you haven't checked it out already, I suggest that you watch the introductory video. That will give you an idea of what I'm doing, but very briefly, I'm going through my Xbox 360 games in the order that I've purchased them. This is physical copies only. It's also only games that I still own. So in part 1, we went over 4 games. And in part 2, we're going to see how far we can get. So, just briefly, the recap is the last 4 games were all over the board. So we've got some shooters, and we just started with some RPGs with Blue Dragon. So the 5th game that I picked up, and it was at the same time as I picked up Blue Dragon, and probably the same place, was Mass Effect. Again, this is another shooter game plus RPG, so it kind of falls in line with Fallout. This is one that I heard really great things about, and it's another great game. You can obviously, I think this is another game that's been talked up, so I think everybody knows the basic idea of it. You can pick either a male or female character to go through the game with. It's got some level of RPG elements, leveling up and such. And then it's a third-person behind shooter. Another great game. Picked it up, finished it. This one got a lot of grief about loading scenes in the elevator and landing on planets and driving around and feeling lost or whatever, but actually, and I picked up the second one, and the second one is just not getting me as much as this one is. I think combat's better in this one, where you've basically got like energy cells, I think, where you can fire, and as long as you wait, it'll recharge, which I actually found to be a little better for keeping the story going than Mass Effect 2, where I found myself, trying to find ammunition. Not because I wasted it, just because that's the kind of person that I am, where if the game's got ammunition, I want to make sure that I have enough. So like Fallout 3, I've got substantially more ammunition than I'm ever going to need, just because whenever I find it, I pick it up, I buy it. It's just the kind of gamer I am. So, yeah, Mass Effect, game number 5, and that I still own, and this is one that I think I started to play a playthrough, actually, of this as well, and I stopped. I don't know that I will, but another really great game. So, game number 6, which is a game that might actually end this part. We'll see what happens, because this is just an amazing game. Probably one of my favorite games of this generation. There's potentially some others, like I think Borderlands was just done absolutely correct, as far as the original experience. The DLC. Yeah, there might be some others. We'll see what happens, but this is pretty close to my favorite game in this system. Definitely in the top 2, if not number 1. And that is Lost Odyssey. And this is the game where it looks like I actually picked it up in January, so about a month after, January of 2009, about a month after I got my 360 originally. You can see I picked it up at GameStop there for $30. This is a 4-disc game, and it's just the most amazing game I've actually played this generation. As I've already said, most amazing game I've probably played in it's 2009, so at least the last 2 years. if not more. Um, yeah, when I first got it, I thought it was going to be like Drakengard for the PS2, which is kind of a, well, I don't know why I would say that. I guess Drakengard is basically a game. It's like a hack and slash, like Samurai Warriors and Dynasty Warriors, Dynasty Warriors. Um, where basically you can collect weapons, you can level the weapons up, but you fight. Yeah, this doesn't have really anything to do with Drakengard. The combat, no, no. Well, the story does, I think, because Drakengard's got a really good story. It's kind of weird. It's really messed up if you unlock the hidden ones. And for whatever reason, I really like the story in Drakengard. It's the one thing that I remember the most, just because it's so messed up. And Lost Odyssey, I mean, the same thing. The combat is just phenomenal, amazing. Where it's kind of like a Shadow Hearts, I guess, where you've got to, see, I'm doing really horrible explaining the game because it's one of those games where it's hard to classify exactly just how amazing the game is. It's hard to put it inside of a shell. And this is one, in part one I talked about Mistwalker, and this is one where their name's also associated with it. And I think Mistwalker is, they're coming out with another game, which I hope it does really well, or at least well enough. No, I hope it does really well. I definitely like to see it come out in the States, where it's got like a Kingdom Hearts-like combat system. But yeah, I don't know that you're going to be able to see that. But it's just, Mistwalker is one of those companies that now I keep an eye on because of this game. So the combat's, you've got a circle basically, and if you press the X button within the circle or within a certain area within the circle, your attacks are more powerful. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Just like in Shadow Hearts, I think you can turn off the Wheel of Judgment so that you don't have to hit the attack button in the right areas of the circle in order to actually attack. Turn that off. But for Lost Odyssey, I think it actually made the battles that much more enjoyable. The story is just amazing. There's honestly a couple parts in here that are real tearjerkers. Kaim, his whole story, as far as this guy over here on his right, and then you've got her, whose name I'm forgetting, who's actually a lot of fun. Her character semi-changes. Yeah, this is just, it's a tearjerker, and I don't wanna ruin parts of it, but it's just an absolutely amazing game story-wise. Combat's fun, the graphics look great. It's just an amazing game, and if you haven't played it, and if any of the games that I mentioned sound like, hey, yeah, I like those games, definitely give this a try. It is an RPG, so if you don't like RPGs, if you don't like the battling system, leveling up, then don't pick this up. But I'd even say pick it up, because I think you could find a copy for less than $30 now, and I think it's an experience that if you have a soul, if you will, you will enjoy this game, and it'll be something you remember. So, Lost Odyssey, again, one of my favorite games of the system, and I did an absolutely horrible job of trying to sum this game up, but it's just an amazing game, amazing story. 4 discs, so it's pretty lengthy. I think there's one DLC for it that I got some part of the way through, but this is one that I finished. Haven't started a second playthrough because there's an achievement for finding all the items in chests or something like that, and I'm probably missing like one stupid item, and all I have to do is find that and then go to, there's some other piddly thing that I have to do. So one day I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to go through it again, and I'm going to follow a guide to get all the items and unlock that achievement. But amazing game. So I feel bad. Two games I've talked about in this video, and one I did very poorly on, and we're already at 11 minutes. So let's do a break because I need so that was part 2 of my Xbox 360 collection, and part 3 will be forthcoming. Thanks.